Biker TV is brought to you in part by the Canadian Biker Build-Off, July 29th to 31st. Rocky's Harley-Davidson, 50 years of delivering the dream. Mid-USA, just hard parts. Closed captioning by Task Productions. So, you want to go fast? Welcome to Biker TV. Bikes, babes, parties, rock and roll. Gotta love it. I'm Heather Ireland.
And I'm Biba.
Today's show is going to rock your world, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Biba?
We've got Donny Peterson on board with Techline. It's a little chilly, but Bombshell Heather's going to cruise the back roads with the Kingston Harley Owners Group.
But first, what the heck is Dino up to now?
We're here somewhere lost in Ontario. Looked up an old friend of mine who's got some pretty cool stuff in his basement. We're in the basement of his house. Where'd you find all that stuff, Rick?
35 years of digging. Old barns, auctions, just around.
Well, this is a pretty interesting piece of hardware, I must say.
This particular bike's an 1881 Columbia 50-inch bicycle. When they developed these bicycles, they'd be designed for the inseam of your leg.
I only have one question. How in the hell do you get on this bike?
The rear step was always mounted to the left of the cycle. You would put your foot up and give 2 skips off your other foot and push myself gracefully into the saddle.
Just when I thought I had it all figured out, you know what? I learned something new today. They custom tailored bikes in the 1800s.
Clubs were an essential part of organizing rides. This photograph here is of the St. Thomas Bicycle Club in Athletic Park. St. Thomas was one of the second clubs to form a bicycle club in Canada, London being the first.
Rick, what kind of bike is this?
This is a Merkel motor wheel, which came about in the mid-teens by Joe Merkel. Joe Merkel's earliest motorcycle was in around 1906, where he actually took a 1906 Harley chassis and motorized it with one of his own motors.
What do we got here?
Dino, this is a 1907 Marsh Metz. The Marsh Motorcycle Company, which started in around 1900, was producing motorcycles before Harley or an Indian. They only lasted in business till about 1913. And this is one of the last known 1907 examples. This big chrome lever here is your belt tension. This is a belt-driven motorcycle. Most motorcycles prior to 1912 were mostly belt-driven. Increase your tension, a little more throttle, and off you'd shoot. Like any bike of its time, they had their days. They started and sometimes they didn't. It was finicky, I guess.
I see we got here a 1915 Harley. I've only heard about these. I've never actually ever seen one.
Well, here's one right before your eyes, Dino. I've owned this bike, Dino, for about the last 20 years. It's took a good number of years finding and locating a lot of the missing components. A lot of things were 1 year only on this bike. The frame was 1 year only, forks, handlebars. Everything's particular to the 15. Hunting around in my buddy's shop in Detroit, I saw this saddle hanging on the wall, and I approached it and fondled it, and he said, what do you want with that? And I said, I need this saddle. And he goes, what's it off? And I said, it's off my 15 Harley and I need it. And we sprung the deal, and this is one of the finishing components to making this machine as real as it is now. The early 15 Harleys were called the Silent Gray Fellow because a Harley was able to accommodate making these motorcycles silent running. They didn't make a lot of noise. They had a cutout exhaust system on them, which you would actuate with your foot right here. Keeping a bike in this condition is essential. It's better to leave a machine in this state so people can enjoy it and document the information from it.
Rick, I really want to thank you for letting us come into your little inner sanctum here and see all this really cool stuff. And thanks a lot.
It was a pleasure, Dino, and you guys come again.
Donny Peterson always gives good advice. Let's listen to what he has to say about the dozens of different pipes screaming around the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Donny Peterson, and this is Bikertv Techline. I've owned heavy-duty cycles here in Toronto for 30 years, and I've been the Techline editor for American Iron Magazine since 1989.
Yeah, Donny, how about drag pipes? They sound heavy, but you've always said they don't perform very well.
There needs to be back pressure with exhaust systems, Tony. And what happens when the hot exhaust gases come out past the exhaust valve into the pipe? It's very hot up here, but there becomes pressure differentials as you go down the pipe as the exhaust gases cool. What happens is they're drawn back up. What you want is either the length of the pipe or to have a muffler so that when these pulses pulse back up, they hit a closed exhaust valve. If the exhaust valve is open, bastardized gases are going back into the combustion chamber, and this is why traditional drag pipes are not good for a stock or a modified Harley-Davidson. Where they do come into their own, it's on top fuel dragsters. You don't care about valves burning out, you just want the exhaust gases out as fast as possible. With the huge cubic inches, it just pushes them out short drag pipes. But the ideal length of an exhaust pipe for an Evolution Sportster model, for example, is about 33 inches. When you get into the big twin shovels, Evils, and twin cams, this length increases to 40 inches. Most of the pipes here are too long for true performance functionability. These are actually close to a correct length. These are close to a correct length, but they're not baffled, so the exhaust pulses will go back into the head. These are too long, although I have those particular ones on my own motorcycle. They sound great, they look great. There's probably 20 wonderfully good working pipes on the market. Why I like these, for example, they're a tuned length. When you get into the muffler, it's bigger, it allows for the expansion of the gases, and this all helps to create horsepower. Inside here is a tunable baffle that you can take the end cap off and you can rotate it into different positions. So if you have a stock motorcycle, you can keep it in one position. As you do some modifications, you can go to a different position. If you get into radical modifications, you go to another position again. So this is what we would call a tunable exhaust.
How about tips, Donny? Things like these or slash cut? Can you tell me about those?
Okay, the fishtail tips, Tony, they're there to give a different sound. So the traditional Harley riders, that will give a brap, brap sound. It has nothing to do with functionality or performance. It has everything to do with whether you like the looks of it and that you like the particular sound that it emits. When we get into the slash cuts or any other configuration at the end, they have no functional purpose except for styling.
So Donny, how about when my shoe gets stuck to my pipe? Is there any way of getting that off?
This is a very common problem, and it's very difficult to get melted rubber or leather off of your exhaust pipes. So here's the trick. You pull out the oven cleaner. You can do it while the exhaust pipe's hot or cold. You should get a hunk of cardboard. You should put it in behind the exhaust pipe so the overspray doesn't go on paint or on your engine cases. You spray it on, and then you wipe it off with a cloth. It comes off very easily. So this is Donny Peterson for Techline and Bikertv, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't go away. We're just heating up. When you're talking 60s and 70s, real deal, old school choppers, Detroit City's Yosemite Sam was on top. Well, now he's back at the Killer Bikes and lots more. Check it out.
Sam's the guy that wears two hats. I'm Yosemite Sam builder, painter, pinstriper, and then I'm Sam Radoff, sculptor, painter, artist. I've been doing this for a long time. At 12 years old, I was actually making money at pinstriping. I was pinstriping cars for the local neighbors and friends and stuff like that. It was harmless fun back then. And then all of a sudden, just kind of fell into the bike thing. Started riding motorcycles and started painting my own, and then that kind of grew into the same way the cars went. People started seeing what I was doing. liked it, just overnight success with that. Naturally, if you're going to ride a bike, why not ride a cool bike instead of something that looks like it just fell out of some bike shop? We chrome everything we possibly could, paint everything or mold it, and make a nice looking bike. Then it progressed into choppers and heavily molded bikes, and taking what I would do with the custom cars and hot rods and putting in bikes. The early 70s to probably the late 70s was the heyday for me for bikes. With the magazine Street Chopper, Custom Chopper, Easy Rider. Those were the three that I was on covers of, centerfold, stuff like that all the time. Sometimes I would have two features in the same issue. What I try to do is expose people to art and my version of it. That's why I take motorcycle parts and turn them into sculptures, or car parts, turn them into sculptures, or take pinstriping and frame and mat it so that it hangs on a wall. I've got a bike in the Museum of Modern Art in Zurich, Switzerland. Built that bike for a gentleman in Tennessee. I build bikes for him every year, and he calls me up and he said to me, Sam, he says, somebody just bought my bike from the Museum of Modern Art in Zurich, Switzerland. And I said, well, that's really cool. I says, do they need any more? I got a whole shop full of these things. Not realizing how this thing fits into my life, or will fit into my life down the road. I was successful the first day I made my first sculpture and took it back to the gallery, because I proved a point to myself that I could do it. And after that, it was just perfecting what I would do, just like everything else I've done. I try and take it to the maximum plus. My sculptures are steel. These are all steel. These are welded steel. And I have a unique finish, because when I was doing bikes and cars, we wanted a perfect paint job. And then when I was doing my sculptures at the beginning, I was making the sculptures picture perfect. And so they would look like they were injection molded somewhere in the Middle East. People want to look at something and find that little scratch or that little imperfection somewhere. So it looks like somebody did it with their hands, not mass produced. I'm at a point in my life where age is creeping up on me, but I'm still enjoying what I'm doing, and I still push it to the limits, and I'll still experiment and still keep hustling and pushing and proving my point that I can do whatever I say I can do. Just about every award you can possibly win, I've won Best of Show or People's Choice, and so I retired from that too. I do awards now. I give away awards. In fact, this year I started a new award at Detroit where I give away an award for my choice of a bike I like. And the same thing I did here in London. I gave away a bike of my choice. I gave away one of my sculptures. So I'm giving back to what's been nice to me. It's been a long ride, and the industry's been good to me. They've given me a job that is second to none, and to me, I love it. So I'm giving back now.
The most wonderful people on motorcycles. It doesn't matter what kind of bikes they ride. It's just a union of people who all enjoy doing the same thing on two wheels. Bikers have gotten a bad rap for a long time, but it's getting a little better. You know, we were trying to get our image cleaned up a little bit, and people are seeing that we do a lot of good things. It's organizations like this rally, the Harley Owners Group, like the Motor Maids. Those different organizations have helped that come a long way, so it's made a big difference.
The Motor Maids were started in 1937 by a wonderful lady called Dot Robinson. Between 1937 and 1943, she toured the United States, and she was looking for women that wanted to ride, since it wasn't popular. It was considered a man's sport, not a women's sport.
She did a lot for women in motorcycling. To get women started, because it wasn't really kosher. It wasn't something women were supposed to do. But you know, like they say, we've come a long way.
It's open to any women. which is what we just want to encourage more and more women to get into the sport and to start riding.
It's really growing, and it's a great way for women to get together and express themselves and get out there and kind of get accepted into what's always been a man's sport.
The colors for the Motormates are blue and white. We wear them proudly. They go over top of our jackets. We wear them wherever we go to any events, hoping to attract other ladies to come and ask questions so that we can encourage them to ride with us. We have uniforms that we have to wear. And the uniform is like a royal blue long sleeve shirt with a white tie. We have gray pants, white leather boots or white shoes with white socks, white gloves we wear when we're riding. And we only have to do that though at convention or if we're doing parades. We'll open racetracks, we'll open biking events. Quite often we'll do a parade around the tracks. So it's a pretty impressive sight to see all those ladies with their blue uniforms. Now we have a yearly convention that is usually held somewhere in the United States. We do a 4-day convention, and the criteria is that you ride to wherever that convention is.
It's a good way for women to get together, share their stories, share their adventures, their ideas. You meet all kinds of women.
Where else can you go that you're actually celebrated and as a female rider? Like it's it's overwhelming. It's empowering. I guess is a good word.
It's a way of life for us. It's usually like your extended family, the people that you travel with, and the people that are your friends they're like your second family. They truly are. I mean, you would do anything for them, and they would do anything for you. So it's a great way of life. It really is.
Coming up next, Heather leads the pack with the Kingston Harley Owners Group.
I'm here in Kingston. I'm meeting up with the Kingston Hog Chapter today to go on their last ride of the season. It's darn cold out. We're gonna freeze our butts off, get some leather on, and let's get this show on the road.
We're going to do what we call our MDA mystery run. We're going to run it in reverse. It goes up towards the Napanee area, up through Lonsdale, over towards Deserano, back down towards 33 Highway. It's really quite a picturesque road, a lot of twisties, a lot of turns, some hills.
Everybody's got some cojones coming out today for this ride. Yeah. Thank God for leather.
130 mark, so you shouldn't get too cold.
Oh, okay, 130 sounds good. It's
that you feel that you know you finally got
freezing my arse off.
That's it, I don't know.
I think
Dress warm in Lylon.
I think it's the best.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I wasn't plugged in then.
I got 2 coats, 3 coats on, and my Bikertv shirt, of course. Well, this concludes a beautiful fall ride. I'd like to thank the Kingston Hog Chapter for joining me today on this chilly but beautiful ride. We saw some nice scenery, beautiful fall trees, some nice twisty roads. And that's it. I'm going to go inside, warm up a bit, and have a bit of lunch at the Smiling Wilderness Restaurant in Napanee. Don't forget to check us out at bikertv.ca. I'm Heather Ireland. I'll see you next time. Special thanks to our Band of the Week, 5440, who rocked us with their new tune, Easy to Love.
And that's the end of Bikertv this week and this season. If you want to see more of Bikertv in the future, drop us a line and let us know what you think.
Bikertv is brought to you by the gracious support of many leaders in the motorcycling community. Drop us a line at info@bikertv.ca.
See you next season. And remember, if you don't ride in the rain,
You don't ride.
bye.
Special thanks to Centretown Pawnbroker, London's Cash Guys. Kane's Motorcycle Shop, Calgary's Harley-Davidson dealer, all about personal service. The Busted Knuckle Chronicles, Western Canada's weekly biker news.